Hey everyone, happy Facebook Live. It is a Monday. We've got just a little bit left on this Monday, and we got a cloudy day where there was definitely some showers out there. Now, I know if you were like me, you were disappointed in the amount of rain. But you know what? We've got a lot more rain coming our way. I wanted to give you this Facebook Live update because we got a lot to talk about, believe it or not. We've got some dense fog that's going to be developing tonight. We also have what's soon to be Helene. I think Helene could be a major hurricane impacting parts of the eastern Florida panhandle. I'll get to that in just a little bit. We also have something called the Fujiwara effect that's going to take place. And what that does is causes two low pressure systems that kind of churn around a center point. And so you got two low pressure systems that kind of rotate around each other like a carousel. And I would agree, Josh. I was disappointed with the rain as well. This whole weekend, I didn't see much rain, but maybe some of you did. There were some downpours in spots, and good to see you too, Brendan. Had a great time at the Northwest Arkansas Emergency Preparedness Fair on Saturday. Got to meet some wonderful people. Maybe some of you are on the Facebook Live. Let me know. Shoot me a comment, drop me a comment, and let me know that you were there. And had a great time, gave my presentation on the May 26 tornadoes. We looked at some of the parameters of severe weather, but I don't want to take up much of your time. Plus, I've got a weather talk that I'm doing at Old Wire Elementary tomorrow morning. Excited about that, talking to some kiddos. So let's get to it and show you our weather headlines for today. So the big story is going to be dense fog tonight. I think there's already a dense fog advisory in southwest Missouri, and I think another dense fog advisory is going to be issued for northwest Arkansas. You'll probably see that when you wake up in the morning. So not much of an advisory, but it'll get you a little bit tough to get to work. It'll definitely get you in the know in terms of how thick that fog is going to be. We don't have super widespread saturated conditions. If that was the case, then there would be a dense fog advisory already. Now we got PM rain chances for Tuesday through Thursday. Wednesday is a little questionable, but tomorrow I definitely think rain is coming, and I was contemplating bumping up those rain chances a little bit, which I think is going to be a possibility. Then we've got soon to be Helene that's going to impact Florida, and I'll show you the latest on that and what I think. And then this is the big weather story: a large cut-off low that's going to bring rain Friday and Saturday. Now, the rain is a blessing, and we need it majorly because we have drought conditions. I'll show you that. But the problem is that we've got a big event that's happening in Northwest Arkansas, and it's a big event that brings a lot of money. If you're a golf fan, the ladies of the Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G, the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship, they are here in town. They're going to be playing a practice round tomorrow. And tomorrow afternoon into the evening, we've got some rain moving in. And the meteorologists for the LPGA are going to have their work cut out for them for sure. So let's get to it and show you, first of all, the drought monitor. And Sarah says hi, and I say hello back, Sarah. So hope you're doing well. Here's the very latest drought monitor. This was released on Thursday. And as you know, it's been a very dry September. I mean, we've had barely any rain at all. There you see that D1 moderate drought, all of Benton County, some of Carroll, northwestern Madison, and northern Washington County. Then you got the abnormally dry conditions, not necessarily a drought category, but getting there. And then you got the River Valley doesn't have any drought. And you might be going, well, why is that? Well, we'll show you the rain totals. They're definitely impressive. When we start off with Fort Smith, look at this. 4 inches of a surplus with 38.66. Now, for the month, that's pretty dire, isn't it? I mean, you see that 2.73, almost 2 3/4 of an inch below where we should be. And Fayetteville's rain totals are even more measly than that, 8/100ths of an inch. Now, I can tell you, September, typically a pretty rainy month. Well, it looks like we're going to close out the month rather wet. And I'm going to break that down for you right now in this Facebook Live. So if you have any questions, comment away. I'll try to get to them. Let's start off with, first of all, the big weather pattern that's going to be taking place. So first of all, tonight we got the patchy fog that's going to be developing. Let's look and see what those visibilities are as we get the newest information here. Yeah, look at that. 5-mile visibility now in Tahlequah. Hasn't quite started to develop in Northwest Arkansas, but it's getting close because look, I'll show you our Graduate Hotel Weatherbug Network camera. You can see the fog looking off in the distance. Mount Sequoia, look at the fog starting to settle in. So I think we're going to have a dense fog advisory. Right now, the dense fog advisory is for Southwest Missouri. And that does include McDonald County, and that's it. So let me show you that here as we look at the dense fog advisory. And Brendan, I'm going to get to the hurricane. Not many impacts for Northwest Arkansas, just to let you know. So there's that dense fog advisory, goes until 10 o'clock in the morning. I fully expect much more of the area to be in that dense fog advisory. If we go to the satellite and radar, here's the reason why. We had the cloud cover throughout the day. We had some rain. But as you'll see with the very latest on the satellite radar, the clouds are starting to clear out. So those mid and high level clouds are clearing out. Low level clouds are building in. That's the fog. And then you're going to see, as we zoom out a little bit more, clearing off to the west. Now, that's not the end of the rain. We got another chance of rain that's coming in. And that's going to be in the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. And in fact, I even contemplated going 40%. I didn't quite bump it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if Josh does that. Okay, so let's show you this here. Be on the lookout for these clouds that are clearing out from west to east. And then all of a sudden, you'll see additional clouds starting to develop. But those aren't mid and high level clouds. That's fog, because you can tell because it doesn't move. It just kind of spreads out from a centralized location. So that's that fog that's developing. I will get to the hurricane, I promise. And then we got more rain that comes in tomorrow afternoon. So here's the fog forecast already starting to develop some. And then you can see some red shaded areas, especially in southeast Fayetteville. Now remember, we look at this from the Graduate Hotel, we're already starting to see that fog develop, looking off in the distance. And that's looking southeast from the Fayetteville Square. Fayetteville, Arkansas, if you're watching from out of state. So there's a look at the fog that's going to be leaving by about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning as it lifts and temperatures warm up and the fog evaporates. And then it'll turn out to be pretty sunny. Well, I'm not going to say that. It's not going to be as sunny as you want because we got another wave of energy that's going to be swinging in that provides the potential for some rainfall. Let me show you that, the 2-day forecast timeline. So this is what we've got, temperatures in the mid-70s. Notice those rain chances, though, starting to pop up. And you're going to notice that those rain chances are the best are in the afternoon and into the evening. And that is for good reason, because we got another wave of energy that's swinging in. Now, I guess I didn't even show that in my previous weathercast. I had so many different weathercasts that I didn't get to it. But here's a look at noon tomorrow. High clouds starting to roll in. Here's the rain that's developing. And so this won't be a super slow soaker, but it'll be maybe a couple tenths of an inch here and there. Then you can see Tuesday, 9 o'clock, still the rain continues across the area. So expect a soggy afternoon into the evening tomorrow. More rain than what we saw today, I honestly believe. Then it clears out. Wednesday, I did drop the rain chances as of the latest. I just don't think that low develops over us on Wednesday, but it does on Thursday. So we'll get to all that. I'll show you that coming up in just a bit. So there's the future track for rainfall. Okay, let's talk about the big picture now, and then we're going to go into Helen. But before we do that, I've got to show you our weather because that's going to play a major role in what Helen does. There's the giant low pressure system. Now, this is interesting. What's going to happen is this right now is a part of what we call the polar jet stream. But as that polar jet comes back in, it's going to be pinched off. It's going to pinch off this low. And what that does, almost like taking a scissors and snipping it, that low is going to drop south. It goes east. And then guess what? A ridge of high pressure is going to develop. Remember, you got clockwise flow with a ridge of high pressure. That's a blocking high, which will take Helen, steer her northward. And then, believe it or not, as that low continues to churn to our east and backs up, that's going to take Helen and drag her to the northwest. Now, how far west remains to be seen. Close enough where we will get some rain from Helen, but this is going to be our main rainmaker right here, this giant low. And you're like, oh, well, I don't even see a giant low. What are you talking about? Well, let me break this out for you and show you on the water vapor. and you're going to see quite a bit of spin that's already starting to develop. So see that? That is a giant low pressure system that's starting to churn. And the other low that brought rain today is starting to move out. So here comes the jet stream. This is the pinching off of the jet stream, all right? And all of this plays a role in what Helene does. So we're going to show you the low that digs south. Now, at this point, the polar jet is still really strong. So it's going to continue to translate east. It cuts off this low from the mainstream, as you can see right here. And both models are showing this, both long range models. So I'm very confident in this. I know you guys are like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, you'll see it because this low is going to stall out as it's just to our east. Now, remember, this ridge of high pressure is going to be developing. It's where my camera is, so I'm going to take that off the screen. This ridge of high pressure is going to be developing, which will take Helene to the northwest, and at the same time keeps this low around. Now, there's nothing to steer this low, so it's just going to be churning and spinning, and that's going to bring us a lot of precipitation, which is what we need. Maybe not necessarily for the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G. And then eventually this slow-moving kicker system and the ridge of high pressure will break down, which will allow that low to lift northward and move on out. And then great weather for mid to late week next week. Man, the weather's looking great there. So severe weather is not looking like a major concern, but in order to show you all this, now we're going to look at what's called vorticity. Now, I actually had a comment from a viewer, and this viewer wanted to know, by the name of Mike Potts, he wanted to know what this map shows. So it's different than precipitation. This shows the spins in the atmosphere. So the spins in the atmosphere basically is what's called vorticity. It's the spin of a fluid. You've got brighter colors that show a stronger spin, and you've got lighter colors that show a weaker spin. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a legend on this up at the top and have stronger spin and weaker spin. I think that's going to help out to show what these colors are instead of just having them on the screen. So I will work on that. Okay, so here is the low that's moving out. Here comes the low that's diving in. Now watch what happens here. I'm going to take the camera off the screen. We're going to animate this. Remember, the atmosphere is a fluid. And also remember, too, that the greatest lift is not right over this, but actually ahead of these little pieces of energy. Energy is lift, and lift creates showers and storms such as low pressure. Now watch this thing churn just to our east, where, yes, we're on the western edge of it, and then here comes Helene. Helene's going to be, I think, a major hurricane. And then you can see it lifting northward and then curving around this system. So you've got two lows that are going to be interacting with each other, essentially a Fujiwara effect where this spins, and both of them are going to rotate around a center point. But this low is too close to not bring us any rainfall. That's a lot of energy. Severe weather potential on the western side is not great. But there could be some rumbles of thunder, Brendan. So you're asking about that, and I'm letting you know that probably not going to see tornadoes for us, but farther east, in Georgia, in Mississippi, Alabama, that might be a little bit of a different story. And then you can see that low just still going because of the cutoff low and the vorticity. And so remember, this is probably going to be the remnants right here of Helene, right in here. So let's track that. That's going. I'm going to back it up, and you'll be able to see that kind of rotating around the system. It's amazing how the atmosphere works. But with the two systems coming in, that system that's diving south from Canada, cutting off, and then you got a hurricane that's coming in, both of those systems are most likely going to bring rain. Now, by Sunday, that system starts lifting out because this ridge of high pressure begins to develop, and then it starts to move out, and then the weather looks good. So that is essentially what the precipitation looks like. Now, let's show you the very latest on not Helene, but potential tropical cyclone number 9. I kind of get a little annoyed with the Hurricane Center and how they name stuff because I get it, because you have 9 potential tropical systems and 7 of them so far have become named storms. So we'll have our 8th named storm. The 8th named storm is Helene, and that's what we're going to see. Now, right now, you start to see a little bit more of a closed low. We're starting to see a few more thunderstorms. In fact, thunderstorm activity is blossoming quite a bit. So this could be the development of the low pressure system. And remember, this is going to drift northwestward. And by the way, there's a really good outflow. You can see the clockwise upper level flow, very weak wind shear, very warm water temperatures. I personally think Helene is going to be a major hurricane and could potentially be a category 4 hurricane, even though that's not in the official forecast. So here is the very latest, 10 o'clock. You've got it just about 100 miles southwest of Grand Cayman, one of my wife and I's favorite places. Then you've got 35-mile-an-hour winds, gusts to 45, moving northwest at 6. So let's kind of step this out over time. It moves northwest right through the Yucatan Channel, right in between Cuba and Yucatan. Then you can see it moving northeast. So there it is as a tropical storm Wednesday morning, becomes a tropical storm tomorrow morning, honestly, and then becomes a hurricane by Wednesday night. Now, I think that's too slow. We'll see, but I think that's too slow. Then rapid intensification, category 2, and a category 3. They keep it as a 2. I think it might be a category 3. And honestly, I think it could be even stronger than that. But there is a lot of uncertainty. Do you see this right here? This is called the cone of silence. The cone of silence. I'm thinking of radar. The cone of uncertainty. Cone of uncertainty right here. This is where anywhere within this region it could make potential landfall. Now, if you might remember Ida was expected to hit the eastern Florida Panhandle, and at the last moment it curved quite a bit to the east. So we're going to be watching that. We're going to be watching that closely. As I zoom in, we had a question about someone that said Sarasota, Florida. So Sarasota, Florida, my daughter lives there. Here's the deal with this Helene. There's going to be, just to let you know, there's going to be widespread effects. I mean, there's going to be outer bands that come through, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So Sarasota, as you'll see here on the southern edge of this track right there, is close to what could potentially be the center. But regardless, there's going to be rain potential, heavy rain potential at that, and tornado potential too. So all those ingredients are possible with a tropical system, and that's kind of what we're going to see. So yeah, we do need the rain. There's no doubt about that. Now, as you can see, that system curves to the northwest. Now remember, it's going to curve northwest and then wrap around that low. So how does this all translate to rainfall? Well, let's show you the QPF, meaning the quantitative precipitation forecast, and you will obviously see very heavy rain. Very heavy rain over parts of Florida, which I'll zip into. Sarasota, including that. That's the outer bands. And then you see Fort Lauderdale and Miami getting a lot of rain. And obviously the heaviest is going to be where the center of Helene hits. Then you can see that moving northward and kind of getting absorbed. But this right here, there's a break in the rainfall. And that makes sense because you got the low pressure system that's diving in that will create more rainfall. So you could impress your friends by saying Fujiwara effect. Not Fujita, not fajita, but Fujiwara effect, where 2 low pressure systems will wrap around each other, and that's going to create some rainfall. Now, if you'll notice, we are kind of on a little bit of the western edge of the heaviest rain. That could be backing up a little bit more, but I still think we do see rain. The farther west you go, the rain chances start to drop off because you're on the western side of the low. So let me show you how this pans out with the European model. So Thursday afternoon, we're starting to see rain. There you see Helene making landfall. That's going to be Thursday evening. We'll put this into motion. Remember that giant low that's still churning over just to the east of us over western Tennessee will start backing up. At that time, rain showers will move in from the northeast to southwest, and that's going to be the low pressure system that churns right on top of us. So look at all that rain. for Friday into Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. By Sunday, that system starts to lift out and shift. How does the GFS look? So that's the European. We'll zoom in a little more on the GFS. So first of all, for tomorrow, another system comes in, brings us a little bit of light rain. That continues into early Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon looks good, in my opinion. Thursday starts to see some rain, and then there's Friday's rain. So widespread green on there showing up, and then you can see by Sunday afternoon that starts to clear out. So Sunday for the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship presented by P&G looks good. That just rolls off the tongue now after saying it so many years. But there you see an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches, and then potentially some really heavy amounts in southwest Missouri. It's all about banding, and there will be localized banding. Here's the GFS model showing anywhere from an inch to over close to 4 inches and even more. So the models are signaling, and there's a potential for some very heavy rain. We don't know exactly where that's going to take place yet, but it is something to watch for sure. But we know rain is looking very, very likely. So to sum up everything, tomorrow, got the fog tonight. Tomorrow morning, there's going to be some fog that burns off. That reminds me, I got to put that in weather rate real quick. Stand by. I forgot to even put that in there. That's silly of me. Forecast. Yeah, we definitely put that fog on there for Tuesday because it's going to go way after 7 a.m. And day 2 to 4. The forecast summary. Okay. Good. Got the fog in there. Woo! Almost forgot that on the weather rate forecast. So there's a look at the temperatures for tomorrow. 76 to 83. Fog clears by about 10 o'clock in the morning. Another round of rain in the afternoon and evening. 7-day forecast. Here's what you got. And then if you guys have any questions, I'll talk more. So there's a look at 76 on Tuesday with some showers. Wednesday, I did drop that down to 20%. Contemplated going 40% tomorrow. Thursday in the evening and afternoon, evening, we got rain chances. Friday, there you see the thunder potential. Now, we're not talking about severe weather, but thunder is a possibility, and that large cutoff low brings widespread rain. That will continue all the way through early Sunday morning before the system lifts out, and then next week looks amazing with the weather. Gorgeous weather. And while it's awesome that we get the rain, it's not ideal timing for event organizers for this tournament. Now the Pro-Am should be good, especially Wednesday's Pro-Am. Morning and afternoon is going to be good. Thursday could encounter some rain during the second half of the day. There's your River Valley forecast showing those temperatures in the mid-70s. Now, just to let you know, we do have a Walmart we do have the LPG. I'm just going to call it a tournament. Golf tournament. How about that? Here's a look at that forecast. 77 on Wednesday, 72 on Thursday. Pop-up rain showers in the PM, on and off thunder for round 1, round 2, round 3. So you get it. We know what it is. We have that happening. So, all right. That's everything in a nutshell. And we could look at some spaghetti models. I haven't done that. But let's go through some of the stuff here, some of the comments. Will Siloam Springs actually get a good soaker? Yes, Faith. But remember, you're going to be western edge, so maybe not as much, but still the potential for some rain. What would be a good day to turn off the air conditioning and open up the windows? So that, tomorrow is going to be upper 70s, lower 80s, and still a little bit on the humid side. I would say Tuesday night and a Wednesday morning. When this system comes through, we're going to have a push of cooler air, and the low temperature is going to drop off. John off the west coast of Mexico is now a major hurricane as well. Oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah. And then in Florida, they are saying Cat 4 potential. I believe it. It makes sense. I think out of everything, one of the things that the National Hurricane Center struggles with, and that's because the models struggle with, is intensity forecasts. I just don't think the intensity forecasts are good. Got a friend that lives in the Grand Caymans, went there for Christmas a few years ago. Oh, Grand Cayman is epic. It is absolutely gorgeous. Ryan, that's way too early for that garbage. Man, I hate forecasting snow. It's so tough. It's annoying. Peak system, warm waters, and a pretty much Goldilocks environment. Wouldn't surprise me if this strengthens ahead of schedule. Same here. Let's see here. Fajita better. Just realized we don't have the boat put to safety and forgot it's hurricane season. Yikes. Oof, man. Yeah. I personally like fajita better. I do too. Evansville is going to get some rain, but remember, Evansville's on the western side of the area. And you're welcome, Katie. So sorry I couldn't get you in today. It was just pretty busy. I had a lot going on. I barely got it all done. It's cold and sprinkling in Fayetteville. Not expecting anything heavier though. No, but I will say this: that's going to be mist and drizzle, and that's going to be the fog that's developing. While I get the stats on the mean rainfall, the timing of said precipitation is also critical. If your surplus is in short term, then soil moisture isn't going to be there in the dry time. That's true. Yeah, I messed up golf. Could the weather Friday impact high school football games? Absolutely. And yeah, it's going to be a little soggy for the high school football. Now, I don't think there's going to be a lot of lightning. If there is, it's going to be in the afternoon. Oh, that's pretty cool. I love that. What's going on? Well, Kenzie kind of ran through it all, and I'm not going to review just because I got to run. But you can watch the replay and you can get everything. But to sum it up, we've got a rainy weather pattern. Best chances of rain is going to be Friday into Saturday, but we get some afternoon, late evening tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for that report, by the way, Ava. Appreciate it. Watching a live with storms in Illinois. Nice. Springdale High has our alumni cheer dance performance. I wanted to see if you thought it could get canceled. If they don't do it in the rain, it could get canceled because we do have that rain potential. But if they do it in the rain, as long as there's no lightning, I think it's possible that that game will be going on. It's kind of fun to watch a high school football game with rain coming down, as long as it's not a super cold rain, in my opinion. And this won't be a super cold rain, but it's not going to be warm either. I think that's about it, guys. So I would not be surprised if Helene becomes a major hurricane, Category 4. And oh, that's right. I wanted to show you the computer models. So this is going to take just a little bit to set up because I don't think I have the spaghetti models, but it shouldn't take too long. I still have Francine on the tropical track, so hold on, let me change that. 9, there we go. I'm gonna change the scene camera, select all frames, delete that puppy, and go into here. I'm gonna hide this and hide this, and then, yeah, there we go. Oh, I gotta get into the track. Sorry, I'm doing this. Spaghetti plot 9 and tropical track 9. There we go. Got it. All right. You want to see this? I do too. Let's check it out. So these are the potential paths. So a potential path basically is the way that the tropical system is expected to go. So it's like a spaghetti model. You can see the different models. They're all obviously in pretty good agreement moving northwest, and that makes sense because you're going around a Bermuda high. And they're all kind of, going through the uprights, if you will. Something that Arkansas's kicker needs to do. Then you can see it curving east. And remember, we got that giant trough. So there's a chance that this could be focused farther east. But look at this unheard of consistency in the computer models. That's pretty impressive in terms of the spaghetti models being all in kind of good agreement. Do you see that, Josh? That's pretty impressive right there. That they're all pretty much in agreement. That doesn't mean that everything's going to be right. But remember, they're going to be drifting to the northwest because of that low that's wrapping around. And see, here you go. One, this CTCI is garbage, by the way. But you see the other ones, including the HWRF, showing that kind of circulating and spinning around that low. Not quite far enough west to bring us major impacts. But there you go. That's a look at the tropical models. So consistency is pretty impressive until you get onshore. Yeah, that's pretty impressive, Larry. I would agree. That's a lot of computer models. No, not in the Gulf yet. Not in the Gulf of Mexico yet. It's actually not even a form named storm yet, but it will be. There's no doubt about that. I want to look at some stuff here real quick. Percentage of a category 5. You know, let's look at the water temperatures too. Yeah, look at the explosion of thunderstorms now. It looks like it's trying to develop a centralized low, but remember, it's got to be all the thunderstorms are kind of to the east of the circulation, but this is a little old. Those thunderstorms blew up a lot more. So there's a look at the area of circulation. Closed low. I don't want to say circulation. That's thunderstorms. A closed low. If we look at the water vapor, it doesn't really have much dry air. This low pressure system is going to be moving out. That's just going to set the stage for absolute strengthening. All that dry air is going to be replaced as the outflow of this system. The clockwise flow is going to push that moisture northward, as you see right here. So there really are some ideal conditions for this hurricane to majorly strengthen. Now here's the sea surface temperatures. It is warm, 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 warm. Show you here. Oops. Close out of that. Trying to load that back up here. There you go. Whew, look at that. I mean, that's over 80 degrees easily. Should have a legend on that too. Some of the buoys 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. So it's pretty wild. Now I will say this too. That's a not heavily populated area of Florida, which would be nice. Impressive. They never agree on anything exactly. My biggest wonder, will the front push far enough east? Will we start to see eastern trend? And will John's outflow impact the path of the lean since it's Cat 3 impacting Mexico? Let's look at John. I haven't even paid much attention to John, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah. There's John. But John's already dying. Let me show you this. So there's John making a run for South Mexico, San Marcos. There's the eye. So that kind of developed pretty quick. That doesn't have much of an influence at all, in my opinion, because of this low right here, although that could wrap some moisture around. But Goldilocks environment, water temperature looks super warm right now. It is. Yep. Seen some around 85. I believe that. That's pretty warm. All right, guys. Well, it is 11:24. I've got to run because I've got a lot to do tomorrow. Pairings party is happening Linnea Strom is who we're playing with for the Pro-Am on Wednesday. Can't wait. That's going to be fun. Peyton will be back in tomorrow. I will as well. And I think we're going to have a tropical storm by tomorrow afternoon. I don't think it's going to happen in the morning looking at the latest, but it could. It could with all that thunderstorm activity popping up. So, all right, guys, take care. God bless and enjoy the rainfall that we're going to get this week because we desperately need it. Take care.